you want to keep everything piled in such a way that the greases and oils are not going on to the pelts. That said, my raccoon was really greasy, so hopefully that one I put in its own bag, so hopefully that one won't damage anything. My mink was okay, my otters were okay, and my 8 beavers out of the 9 were okay. It's just this big one there that I got, that 62-pound beaver. I just want to make sure that one's really good when it goes. I mean, I know I didn't flesh it quite properly, and I'm praying it doesn't rot on me and stuff like that. I mean, it always rots a little bit near the legs. There's nothing you do about that, but it's like the idea is to, you know, get money for it. And I know the April fur pickup drop off, whatever, that fur, is that a piece of pine? It's a piece of pine. There you go. Yeah, so I know that fur drop off is going to be, you know, that auction, which should be the June auction, is going to be a little bit less. Now, one thing that's interesting, if you guys, maybe it's not really a big deal, but if you guys got, if you were using NAFA for your fur pickups, Fur Harvesters auction will accept bags from NAFA, according to the guy driving the truck. So if you got a NAFA bag, you could still use those bags and drop them off. They'll take them. So if you don't have if you have those old bags, still they'll take them, they'll use them. NAFA is no more, they're out of business, but from my understanding, but that was more due to bad investment in mink and fox ranchers. That's the problem when people get a little bit too gung-ho on stuff. You know, like if you're an auction house, you don't invest, you know, you let the, you know, like I guess they got greedy. That must have been what happened, is they probably invested thinking that, you know, the fur prices are going to be so good and all these ranchers are going to make money. Because that was my take, was that all the ranchers would make way more money, but they really don't. They were losing money. I'm not saying all of them were losing money, but enough that it really hurt NAFA enough to put them out of business. You know, maybe there was other things too, that bad management or something like that. I don't know the whole story, but that's what it sounded like. That was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back, was these bad investments of people, you know, working the mink farms and stuff like that. So they invest in these farms, probably $100,000, a couple of $1 million, and then all of a sudden they just lose. You know, thus is farming. In any farming is a losing adventure for most people, because most people are not, and I'm not saying this to be insulting, but labor people are usually not good business people. Think like farmers, truckers, stuff like that. Those people are better off to work for somebody that runs a business. I already talked about that example of the guy talking about like the Volvo 670, for example, that, oh, it's a fleet truck, it's ugly, you don't buy one because they're ugly. You know what I mean? Yeah, but they get 7 miles to the gallon. You know, if you want a fleet truck and you want to make money, you don't go with the 4 mile to the gallon vehicle, you go with the 7. Who cares what it looks like? You know, it's a utility vehicle. It's not a show vehicle, you know what I mean? And that's why truckers don't make money. It's because they think like that. You know, farmers are the same thing. Not all of them, but the ones that are bad, you know, not really good at business. They get a farm, okay, and they go out and they buy a $100,000 tractor for a $4,000 a year crop. And they're like, well, yeah, but, you know, I need that $100,000 tractor. I said, okay, but here's your problem. You're not making money. You know what I mean? Well, trapping's kind of the same. So if you have something that relies on auction, okay, you can't guarantee a price. So if you have a fur ranch, fox, mink, faux, if you I don't know if we have them over here. I know they have those in China and stuff like that, in Kazakhstan and wherever. But if you have a farm like that, I would say this is, you're not going to rely on auctions. You know, you're going to also This is something I don't think I'll be able to do it this year, but I'm going to attempt it. Is when you take a fir and it's in its raw organic form. Big deer trail here. Is that a deer trail? Yeah. And it's in its raw organic form. Here's what you got. You got a resource that's at the bottom base price. You're the trapper or the farmer. You're going to put in the most work, the most investment, everything like that. Then the auctioneer is going to get a hold of it, okay, and he's going to take his cut. He's the first middleman, and you don't really have, you have a series of middlemen. Then from the auctioneer, okay, he'll take his cut, but then you've got your fur manufacturers, garments, utility fur, whatever, and they want to get a good deal. So they want the bargain price. You sell me a batch of 100 furs, I'm willing to pay this much. So here's my bid. And of course, they're going to bid as low as they can. And you know, that's why the trappers sometimes don't make very much money, because they're trying to, you know, they're not thinking, oh, those guys worked really hard in the bush, so, you know, I'm going to bid an extra $5 just to get the fur prices up or whatever. They don't look at it like that. They look, you know, like the fashion fur is different, because let's say you get a bunch of furs that are a batch of furs, because they auction the furs usually off in batches of 100, my understanding. And let's say you get one batch of furs of 100 that are $20 a piece, okay? And then you got a second batch of 100 that are also $20 a piece. Now let's say the first guy is using those $20 furs for utility fur. So he makes coats, gloves, hats, and he charges, you know, not a premium, you know, something that the common man can afford. And then guy B, he makes the same bid, gets the same price, but now he's making $10,000, $50,000, $25,000 jacket or fur coats and whatever. Fashion industry. He's not going to make very much, but he's going exclusive. So he got the same deal as the other guy. He's putting in roughly a little more work for, you know, the luxury angle of it, but he's not paying any more for the furs, right? So if you're a fur rancher, you got to be also making the coats and everything like that. You know, you're going to have to expand it to a full business, or else you're not going to make any money. So, because you have to be able to coop what you put into it, right? Feeding the mink and stuff like that. So the upside is, with all these mink ranchers going out of business and all these fox ranchers going out of business, that, shut up, wild chicken, we would talk about you too. A lot of wild chickens past couple of days, but the point is that it could, with these guys being out of business, suddenly there could be a drop in availability of mink and fox. We'll find out after the auctions, but that could raise the wild furs up a bit more, because the wild furs are never going to look as nice as the fully you know, the fully prepared you know, ranch furs, right? So, but anyway, I thought that was something interesting. So that's just kind of how my day is. Gonna get along here. Hopefully got a wolf in there. About time I caught one. You know, at least give me a win today, you know. All right, there we go.